it's becoming a fight.
Hey, Polly.
Hey, Kenny! Hey, Kenny! He keeps throwing his glove out!
Hey, Kenny! All he's doing is with that hand, he's throwing that glove trying to distract him here. He's barehanded. That punch is illegal punch is coming. It's coming up.
In the meanwhile, you got to be defensive man, okay? You can't let these shots off no return, man.
I'm trying to make him miss him.
Okay, but if you...
I'm trying to make him miss clear, too.
But when you do make him miss, sometimes answer back every now and again. They just go away from you, okay? Deep breath, deep breath. Battle round. Now you fight a little smarter,
Ayala used to being in close fights and pulling them out. Maybe getting into another close fight here.
Yes, it is. And how many can he be in, especially when you have 400 amateur fights behind you?
Unlike the first fight, it's all Paulie Ayala in the power punching department, landing 216 of 377, 57% through 8 rounds.
But it's a very interesting fight, and Bones has shown that he has the ability to win this fight if he would just stay busy, throwing punches, dipping at different angles, doing little tricky moves, because he has more diversification in things that he can do compared to Paulie. Paulie is pretty much predictable, but he's consistent.
And persistent. Paulie Ayala is an overachiever who has become an achiever late in his career.
He says he doesn't have the tools that most of the other gifted fighters have, but his gift maybe he just works hard every time out.
Always in good condition. Bones has been doing a very good job when he gets caught in the ropes lately. He's starting to twist, picking punches off very beautiful. Paulie has not been effective in hurting him in the ropes anymore.
Ayala now getting beaten to the punch.
He's catching all of those punches so far at this point. He's been catching them on his gloves.
Still, though, Adams has done a good job of slowing him down slightly here in the 9th round.
Yeah, because angles. It's a good right hook by Paulie right there.
Bones Adams game right here, picking his spots, and as Larry mentioned, beating Ayala to the punch.
But after he finishes up, Ayala always comes back with something.
Adams working himself back into the fight.
On March 9, Boxing After Dark returns with undefeated lightweight champion Paul Spadafora putting his title on the line in his hometown of Pittsburgh against one of the most colorful fighters in the sport, Angel Manfredi. And on March 23, Prince Nassim Hamed makes his return to the ring for the first time since his loss last April to Marco Antonio Barrera. The Prince will take on Manuel Calvo. Also that night, former world champion Johnny Tapia takes on Angel Vasquez. HBO, the heart and soul of boxing.
That uppercut in the left hook behind us, okay? Okay, now let's put these last round. Let's do what we've been working to do now, okay? Let's make him look stupid. Let's put the punches together. Still. Last third, though. Let's step it up, okay? Right? Come on, champ. Let's go. Let's go, champ. Come on.
12 seconds.
Maybe Bones Adams had a master plan to pace himself because he's looked a whole lot better in the last half of the fight.
Well, whatever he's going to do, he's got to have to do it now. If he pulls these rounds out, he can possibly pull the fight out. But he's going to have to let it all go right now.
Harold Lederman, how do you have the fight scored through 9?
Okay, Fred. Bones Adams, you know, a little tricky style, like Emmanuel said, moves to the right and throws a right hand. You know, this one punch at a time stuff in round 9. I gave him the 9th round. I also gave him the 8th, but he also laid in some good right hands. But to tell you the truth, he gave up an awful lot of the early rounds. 87, 84, 6 rounds to 3, Paulie Ayala. I mean, Paulie Ayala had it all, but, you know, in the bank in the first 5 rounds, whether Bones can catch up, very questionable. Stop, step back, girls. Watch out, there we go.
I have it 5 rounds to 4.
Adams outlanding.
Although I think Ayala's ahead by more than that. That's how my scorecard reads. Sometimes you look down at your scorecard and it's telling you something different than your eyes are telling you.
Adams outlanding Ayala in the 9th round. Hasn't happened very often during the fight.
And that's the kind of fight that he needs to fight. After he lands a punch, move off, step off to an angle, and sort of pull him straight back. So there he stood straight up and relaxed after he landed a few punches, and that's when Paulie comes right back. You can't land a punch on Paulie Ayala and stand back and admire your work.
Because he'll get the last word.
Get the last word. You can't go straight back with him either. Bones lands the punches, looks effectively, and then he does not have the seem like the pattern or the habit of being consistent behind them. And therefore, the fight's always going to be close. And going into these close fights, Paulie Ayala.
Let him up. Let him up.
Quick left counter by Bones Adams.
But Paulie is coming back. Bones lands good punches. If he could land the punches and get away without getting hit on the tail end punch, he'd be okay.
We're witnessing 2 rematches this evening. Larry Merchant, let's talk about some other possibilities for the rest of the year.
Could be the year of the rematch. You see what we're looking at tonight. Balbi Duran, who had that wonderful lightweight fight in January, could be a rematch there. Winky Wright could be fighting Bronco McCart again somewhere down the road this year. Barrera Morales, of course, that's the one everyone's looking forward to. It seems that Mosley and Forrest are now negotiating for an immediate rematch. Then, of course, Felix Trinidad is coming back, and he's hoping to fight the winner of De La Hoya and Vargas at the end of the year. And the Jones-Hopkins rematch being negotiated, not an easy negotiation.
Round number 11. A lot of pressure, just like you did with that, but think of your defense.
Championship rounds now for Bones Adams and Paulie Ayala. Ayala, no stranger to rounds 11 and 12 over the last 6 fights of his career.
If Bones out his corner has studied the pattern of judging of Nevada officials, they will know he's got to go wide open these last 2 rounds. You saw what happened with Trinidad and De La Hoya, Pernell Whitaker and De La Hoya. The Nevada judges like a guy who looks consistent and is very busy, and they don't tolerate a guy that's trying to like run away from the fight. Even though he's winning the fight at his own pattern, he still needs to avoid getting hit with those little clean-up punches near the end.
You think he's winning the fight, Emmanuel?
I think he's doing a much better job, but still I'm looking at Paulie as just the consistency there. And that's the big factor right there. And I'm beginning to think like a Nevada judge since I'm in Nevada tonight.
I think that Adams fell way behind, and either he's just decided to lose comfortably because he's not showing me any fire here. He's a professional. He's been around the block for a long time, since he's 15 years old. He knows what's going on. If he wants to win the fight, he's going to have to make a big effort, and I don't see the effort coming.
Well spoken, Larry.
Thank you, man.
Come on, here we go. Work out. Work out. Stop.
Manuel, you've talked about it all